Republican Congressman Joe Barton's apology to BP last week was a big deal for a couple of reasons. First, because it was an apology to an oil company, to the oil company that has been poisoning and continues to poison the Gulf of Mexico and the whole Gulf region with tens of thousands of barrels of sticky, sickening oil every day. All day, every day. All of it still spewing from a well they dug so far down in the water, you practically need a lunar module to reach it. He apologized to them. But it wasn't just the content of Congressman Barton's apology that made this a big political deal. It was also a big political deal because of Congressman Barton's position relative to the country's energy policy. Congressman Barton, of course, is a former oil industry guy. He worked for ARCO, which is now part of BP. That was the job that he had before he got elected to Congress. He's also the ranking Republican on the House Energy and Commerce Committee. So the thinking has gone that if Republicans win back the House this November, Congressman Joe I'm sorry BP Barton would get back that Energy Committee chairmanship. It turns out to be not quite the case because the Republicans rotate their chairmanships in the House. Joe Barton was chairman of the committee the last time around, so next time around the seat would probably go to a different Republican on the committee. Among those being considered, Congressman John Shimkus of Illinois or, say, Representative Fred Upton of Michigan, neither of whom is particularly famous, either one of whom could end up potentially being Republican energy chairman if Republicans won the House, which is itself a little bit unlikely. But if Republicans did win the House, there is a slight chance that the chairmanship could also go to Congressman Phil Gingrey of Georgia. Congressman Gingrey is on the committee. He's not a former oil industry guy. He's a doctor of obstetrics, which, of course, doesn't automatically make him a dicey possibility for chairmanship of the Energy Committee. However, I might suggest that this recent radio interview he did about the BP oil disaster could make him a dicey choice.
For the life of me, I can't understand why BP couldn't go in at the ocean floor, maybe 10 feet lateral to around the periphery, drill a few holes and put a little ammonium nitrate and some dynamite in those holes and detonate that dynamite and seal that leak and seal it permanently.
Spoken like a really impressive congressional obstetrician. I mean, come on, what's the holdup? Put some dynamite in there. Blow the sucker up, just blow it up. You see, I saw this on a Roadrunner cartoon this one time. I didn't exactly catch the end, how it worked out. I don't exactly know how it worked out for the coyote, but when I left to go do something else I don't remember, it looked like things were going to work out awesome for the coyote, so I'm pretty sure it went okay. So if we just use Acme brand dynamite, I'm pretty sure this would go great. Congressman Gingrey's blow up the leak plan is unfortunately not alone in the hallowed halls of dumb ideas being floated to deal with this thing. It's just one of a lot of dumb ideas that's been floated. Ideas that conform to the perspective that when science takes too long, brute force is the smart, appropriate substitute. So in addition to the dynamite plan, there was also this infinitely stupider idea, the idea of nuking the well.
It's a crazy last resort kind of idea. But what if it works? What if nuking the well finally stops the oil from surging into the Gulf?
Why don't we just try it and see? Bad plan. I mean, it's really, really brute forcey. It's a very tough sounding plan. I'm sorry, we've tried everything. This is a desperate situation. The Gulf Coast needs us. Do you have a spare minute, man? Yeah. Really, really brute forcey idea, but really, really bad idea. For one thing, there are some pretty significant technical risks here. We don't know how to use a nuclear weapon as a sealant. Also, there's the whole devastating, life-killing levels of radiation thing that even if all you've ever looked into about nuclear weapons is that movie The Day After, you have a pretty good idea about. Plus, there's the simple fact that setting off a nuclear weapon would violate a number of arms treaties the United States has signed and advocated for over the years. And that's the kind of thing that, hippies care about. So now I'm being sarcastic, hold your hate mail. But now with all the batty real-life options for sealing the BP well exhausted, it may be time to turn to fiction. Sometimes some of the best ideas come from fiction. But, who spends enough time in fantasy land to come up with a fictional idea for dealing with this, right?
How about we get some real engineers? How about we I mean, have you seen the movie? What was that one where they wrote that stupid movie with Clint Eastwood where they got onto the asteroid? They got people that were working on oil rigs. What do you think we get some of those guys together?
Okay, that is just ridiculous. That's absurd. That's insane. First of all, it wasn't a Clint Eastwood movie where they sent oil rig workers to blow up the meteor with the bomb. That was Bruce Willis in Armageddon.
Imagine a firecracker in the palm of your hand. You set it off, what happens? Burn your hand, right? You close your fist around the same firecracker and set it off. Your wife's going to be opening your ketchup bottles the rest of your life.
See, we're going to swim to that broken oil well with a nuclear device, implant it, and get off before it blows. What could possibly go wrong? Let's face it. It's all going to be fine if we just follow the plot of Armageddon. That's unsettling. That does it for us tonight. Countdown with Keith Olbermann starts right now.